Coulter, a very controversial woman. Some people really hate her, some people love her. It's kind of like Trump, similar kind of dichotomy of hate and love. And you know, there are of course people in the middle too. But one thing about Coulter that you can't deny is that she's a very smart woman and she knows what she's talking about pretty often. Unlike the ladies on The View, who we'll see in a moment, who totally get outclassed and just look, frankly, stupid in front of Ann. So everybody, we're gonna get right into the video. It's gonna be a good time. But first, please make sure you like it, share it around, and subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. I'm your host, Darian, and here we go.
With 40 days until the election, Miss Ann Coulter is back with a new book called Mugged, where she claims that President Obama has abandoned Black Americans and that the O.J. Simpson verdict was a great thing for America. Please welcome the very controversial Miss Ann Coulter. Ann. All right. Okay, I need you to tell me what you're trying to say in this book, because we don't know what you're trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is race mongering has been very bad for America. Liberals use it to promote causes that have nothing to do with blacks and in fact harm blacks. And that excellent lead-in you just gave about OJ, I mean, I think that was the moment, having lived near New York City in the 70s and 80s, which was the golden era. It was like Trayvon Martin and Duke lacrosse case every day. With the OJ verdict, white America said, that's it, the white guilt bank is shut down. And that ended up being the best thing that ever happened to black Americans.
What are you talking about?
I meant that no longer...
Being acquitted was good for who?
Yes, because you had millions of white people watching with the equivalent of what in New York we used to refer to as the Brooklyn juries, who simply would not convict even guilty black criminals, not innocent black
criminals. Hold up, Ms. Coulter, please stop, please stop. If you're going to talk about race, at least know what you're talking about. At least know what you're talking about. Well, tell me how much you know about being black.
Well, this isn't about being black.
Well, but you just said this is...
Did Ann say that she's black and that she knows what it's like to have black skin? I don't think so. So, as always, Whoopi Goldberg is always making incredibly dumb and stupid and not insightful points. And yeah, why can't Whoopi just shut up? I mean, seriously, it's bad, guys.
Made all these statements about how black people feel. Tell me how you know that. Yeah, you did.
This is not a book about black people. It is a book about white liberals. And I do know, and this is a fact, that once for years, Republican policies on crime and welfare, for example, were called racist. When they finally got implemented after the OJ verdict, I might add, by crime Giuliani in New York, Reagan and Bush judges overall, tens of thousands of black lives were saved. That is a fact. I don't have to know about being black, but I know because you're to be dead.
Your facts are just a little shaky. I mean, you're saying that because black people, because liberals are what? Because liberals have abandoned black people now because... What? I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't think liberals ever cared about black people. I mean,
The only true thing Whoopi has said during this interaction is that she doesn't understand. You're dang right you don't understand, Whoopi. You're, yeah, not the sharpest tool in the shed, to say the least, nor the brightest.
After the Civil Rights Act of '64, they start calling everything that has nothing to do with black people a civil rights issue.
Wait a second.
Abortion on demand, homeless rights.
So are you saying that liberals don't care about black people? Then are you saying Republicans embrace us in a warm, fuzzy...
Try to. We're not embraced back. But yeah, we try to.
So wait a minute. So the Southern strategy was a white liberal thing? No, it was a Republican thing.
No.
And also, Newt Gingrich calls President Obama the food stamp president. That's not racist? Wait a second.
Do you really think that was... Do you believe it was racist for Newt to say... that the president is a food stamp president?
Well, he wouldn't say that.
If we could just skip, I'm not a big fan of Newt, so if we could just skip that for a second and get to the Southern strategy. Yeah. Because I've specifically disproved it. It's an absolutely liberal folklore. Republicans were winning the South since 1920. It was the outer states of the South. It was Texas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia.
Voting. What are you talking about? We weren't allowed to vote.
Who was trying to get them to vote? Republicans were.
Yeah,
and the first black congressmen were all Republicans. And the first black governor was a Republican.
You're talking about way back.
So this idea of, the Southern strategy, it runs right along with when leftists will falsely claim that the party switched platforms, which is to say that one day somebody snapped their fingers and then the Republicans became the Democrats and the Democrats became the Republicans and nobody thought twice about it. One problem with that theory, the South was not majority Republican until the 1990s. it was Democrat dominated prior to that. So let's think about when the Civil Rights Act passed. That was 1964. Did it take the racists 30 years to figure out what was going on? They're just 30 years later, they're like, oh yeah, we're against the Civil Rights Act and all this. We're Republican now. We just changed from Democrat Party. No, that's not what happened. Just totally dishonest, and as Ann said, folklore.
After is so different from
that is definitely what we're told. But in fact, the Democratic segregationists were all liberal Democrats. It is a lie that they were conservative Democrats. It
was a segregationist, darling. You know, basically, everybody was. White people were. It didn't matter whether they were Republicans or not.
Ask you a question.
The first integrationists.
Whoopi's wrong.
Let me ask you.
Shocker.
Okay, just read chapter 14 in this book. The first Republicans to be elected in the South.
Listen to my grandmother, who was there, who remembers what happened.
Baker, an aggressive integrationist, first Republican elected in Tennessee to the Senate. You have Winthrop Rockefeller, first Republican governor in
But you know, I have a question
Arkansas.
about today.
Integration.
Let me ask you something about what's going on.
Ann is a walking book of facts. You can see these simpletons just can't keep up. They're all going, yelling over her, all 5 of them or however many it is. And Ann's just there like, yep, segregationist, separationist, etc., etc. She's killing it.
It seems to
The
me
Southern strategy is a lie.
It seems to me that voter suppression is happening in areas where black people and Hispanics are, and it really is being promoted by the Republicans, not the Democrats. So in my view, and I have a different one from you, it looks as though the Republicans are really going against blacks, not the liberals.
No, and
what
this
do you
is a
say to
perfect
that?
example. Yes, it is, and it's a perfect example. No, I'll explain why. Of liberals using the label of civil rights to promote a liberal cause they support, i.e. voter fraud. In fact, one of the first states in the Union to pass voter ID bills was Rhode Island, 85% Democratic legislature. And who pushed it? A black Democrat in the House, a black Democrat in the Senate.
That's
a fact.
No, you may pick out Rhode Island, but there are other states where it's completely Republican
black
driven.
Democrats be pushing this? Because they had seen
Because they
voter
want the
fraud.
Hispanic vote to go to
Can I
Romney.
ask a general question? Every book that you write is very controversial and shocking, and it's usually an opinion that's disparate with everybody else's.
Right.
Do you just write these books and try to find whatever it is that's going to make everybody say,
No, she writes them because there's something interesting and insightful to be offered, something you clearly have never understood, and you're probably too simple-minded to get it. Also, I highly doubt this lady has even read any of those books, sitting here having such a strong opinion. Oh, your books are so controversial. That's cool. Have you read them? Probably not.
The reason, it's an excellent question. The reason I write these books is because I try to correct things that people believe that are just false.
This is a question, because I was reading a book,
and you're the only one that says it. But
Well, there are a few things. I mean, discovering that we never won the Goldwater states and Republicans didn't win the Dixiecrat states until the Dixiecrats died out.
You keep staying back in the past. You got to come into the present. But this is what I want to say.
That's new to me. The rest of it, other people know.
In reading your book, you know, you keep saying if you would read chapter 14, if you would read, you make such divisive comments and incendiary comments and hateful comments at times. It makes people not want to pick up your book and read it. So
People agree with her, read it.
Yeah, well, people agree with it.
I don't think so.
Way to prove the point. Obviously, she hasn't read the book. The other ladies haven't either. Oh, well, it's too divisive for me to read it. Okay, because apparently today I learned you can't read something you disagree with because that'll destroy your mind or something. Just pathetic. Such illiterate simpletons, all of them. It's sad.
A hateful comment in here.
You know, when you talk about you stay in the past, that Republican
No,
is
only
back
because it
then.
was brought up. There's only one chapter on the past, and I mean, it's just a
But
fact.
when you talk about something like voter suppression, which
Right.
obviously is trying to keep black people and Latinos,
Republicans have never done that. That was a Democrat thing.
But it's in states where they don't even have any.
stop. Let me just, because can I just say one thing, Diane? No matter what, you sit down here and you've got 5 women going, whatever.
Yes.
Whatever it is, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Ann really commanded the show there. There was just about nothing intelligent said by the other 5 women combined. Meanwhile, Ann was just spitting out facts after facts. So great job, Ann. Well played. As for the View ladies, as we all know, your show's a joke. Not much else you can say about that. On that note, thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. We hope you enjoyed it and appreciate you coming on. Comment below, let us know what you liked, what you want to see next. We'll see you guys again soon. Thanks, and God bless.